My Envy Mog found a race that it just couldn't handle. But to be fair, I don't think any bike could handle the race that I was in.
A mountain bike.
That was a mountain bike race. You had to have 40 mil tires.
We wore the same shirt today.
Yeah, you're not supposed to tell them.
I revealed the secret. We didn't plan that.
We didn't
but it just
plan
happened.
It's also the same shirt that my bike's wearing.
Yeah.
My bike has that shirt on. Yeah, I went to Gravel Worlds in, where is that race at? Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska. This is one of the bigger races in the US, maybe like top 3 biggest gravel races in terms of like competition level. I think 2,000-ish amateurs there, and then the pro fields were maxed out at 75 riders, even though I think there was a little more than 75 in the men's field. I'm sure they just let in some extras. Did y'all know that Lincoln is only 10 hours away from here if we drove?
Yeah, I did know that.
Did you know Drew Dillman, who I went with, thought it was 16 hours, so he's like, we should fly?
Yeah, I learned that whenever you told me you were flying, and I was like, why?
Yeah,
and
so
you were like, it's 16 hours. And I was
Drew,
like, no.
I also knew it was 10 hours, and I was just like, okay, we'll just fly. The morning that we were supposed to fly out, our plane didn't show up. We had quite a hectic journey to get to Gravel Worlds, and it took almost 16 hours to get there instead of just a 10-hour drive. And I told Drew, I was like, we could have just drove. He's like, what? It was like 16 hours. Why would we drive? I was like, dude, it's only 10. And then he looked it up and he's like, why didn't we just drive? But yeah, we made it there. We didn't have to miss anything except for like our shakeout ride. So it wasn't that big of a deal. So I didn't ride Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday before the race, which is very unlike me. But if y'all follow me on Strava, I've been like kind of sick. And that Monday, I felt like awful, like one of the worst rides I've ever had. So I was like, it can't hurt to not ride.
I do that. That's how I do everything.
Jesse just doesn't ride in races.
Yeah, I just don't ride.
So I just didn't ride and ate a bunch of food and hope for the best on Saturday. But yeah, got to the race. Gravel Worlds has a pretty cool expo, and for all the people that were at the expo and came up to talk to me and hang out and stuff, greatly appreciated as always. Friday morning, since I was staying with Drew, Chase Work, and JP, we all went on the Lauf owner bike gravel shakeout ride Friday morning. Chase and Drew were leading it since they're both sponsored by Lauf, and they were nice enough to let me ride my Mog on the Lauf owners gravel ride.
So it was only for Lauf owners?
That's what it said, but it said anybody could go. Okay. I was kind of just joking, but I was actually so surprised the amount of people that own Lauf.
Yeah,
there's like a lot of them.
There's a lot of people.
I don't know if
this has been their race for a long time.
Yeah, it's just the Lauf race.
Gravel Dad. Shane. He's like the sales guy behind the company.
Yeah.
I met him at Gravel Worlds, like whenever I went, in 2019. And me and him just hung out for hours and hours and hours.
He was on the group ride.
Yeah,
we
Shane.
Chatted.
Shout out to Shane.
I think they both did the race together too.
I like this Lauf ad that we're doing.
Use code bicyclestationlauf.com for a discount on a Lauf. Do it, see what happens.
I've asked them to let us sell them, and they just stare blankly, like they don't want to talk to me about it.
I don't think they're allowed. The other big sponsor of this race is Good Life, which we sell their nutrition, and I actually use their nutrition as my race day nutrition. They were the ones that put up the $100,000 for the pro field prize purse.
I didn't know that.
$100,000, yeah. They're definitely trying to push to make this like one of the biggest races in the US, and I think they were pretty successful.
As a spectator, it was pretty cool to watch. It's such a long race.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for a long time. But I think for a first go around, televising a gravel event, like it was awesome. The catastrophic mile 31 situation, they missed it because the camera wasn't there. So you guys came through there, and then the camera, all the announcers were like, we have no clue what happened.
It went from being a giant pack of people to just 10. I think there's 2 ways to do a live stream. There's like the Lifetime Grand Prix way where they have a helicopter and like lead vehicles, but then there's Instagram story based live feed where there's just
Instagram story based.
They just have a couple people out there logged into Instagram stories and film what they can and just start uploading it. I think they should find a way to like mesh the two together.
Well, that's what Core 4 did with the Holy Spirit of Gravel.
Yeah, she was just doing the Instagram feed. I think that's a cool way to film races, or at least give people some insight into what's happening.
I think that
real
They
time.
should have hired her also doing something.
They could do double. Have
Yeah.
YouTube live feed and Instagram feed going. If you guys didn't know, Good Life has a restaurant in Lincoln that is like the best food you'll ever have in your entire life. So y'all should go there. I rode my Envy Mog, no changes. Rode my super narrow Ascent bars. Every time we post a YouTube video about these, everybody's like, what bars are those? Even though I say it in the YouTube video. Yeah, y'all can buy these.
Yeah.
These are the Ascent Aero LR bars.
Yeah.
They're 32 mil wide at the hoods, and this is the only size they come in.
Which is a mistake, by the way.
They're working on it. I've been told they're working on different sizes. But if you want the most Aero bars in the game, y'all should get these. I learned that I think I need to put some spacers under here because like this is the optimal position to be in, but I always end up like holding myself up just a little bit. Like it's a little too low to rest my arms down there.
I bet you have enough room for one.
It was pretty good the way it was. I rode the NV45 wheels. I've been riding these a lot, and I think these are definitely my new go-to gravel wheel. They're not as wide internally as some of the other gravel wheels, but I haven't found that to be a bad thing.
Well, especially with these.
Especially with those tires.
Yeah,
but like I've even rode Thunderbirds and Race Kings, and they've seemed fine. I kind of thought I'd feel more of a difference going from like the 28 mil internal reserves to these, and I guess it's only 2 millimeters. That's not a ton.
The 225 Burts are like just a little bit too big for these.
Yeah, even with that, you're getting the aero benefits.
You do get the
of
benefits,
these deep wheels.
but the tire starts to act strangely, is what I'm trying to say. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably something you could get used to.
I think you can.
I don't think
It didn't stop me from having a good race.
Yeah.
It just was.
I don't
noticed
think
it.
I've ridden the 225 Burts for any more than just a test run. I need to get some more ride time in on those. I had normal transmission, mountain bike stuff in the back, 48 tooth in the front, and my Silka Wax chain, which I wanted to talk about this a little bit. It is mind-blowing how good this chain still feels. Like it's not crusty or rusty. I took it off because I had to box my bike up to fly. After 150 miles of the worst conditions ever, this still feels pretty good. Like surprisingly.
It's not terrible.
It's really okay. I obviously would want to re-wax it before riding it again, but it made it through the race. So that's pretty impressive. The Bocconi bottom bracket, I think it took some blows during this race from all the mud. Like it's a little loud, a little crunchy. It might just be some mud like caked up behind the chainring or something. And then tire choice, which is probably the biggest thing. This race is pretty smooth, flat, fast gravel, like the fastest gravel you could have when you're in the groove. Like there's tire marks from cars, basically like you're on a road. But when you're out of that groove, it's just like any other gravel where it's loose and deep and sandy and slow. If you're gonna do this race, and you're not in the pro field where you don't have to race around people and you're able to choose whatever line you want, this is the tire to go for. I found that in the beginning of this race, especially when we're a group of 70 dudes and you're getting pushed and bounced all over the place, it kind of sucked having these tires. Normally I'd be able to like just go in the rough stuff and go around someone, but I was like forced to try to stay in the groove because you'd go in the sand and instantly felt like you'd hit the brakes. That big pack of dudes that I was in, you're like fighting for position for the first 15 miles in the pitch black.
The start of this race is awful. I hate the start of this race.
It's straight up, I don't want to like tell the race promoters they're doing anything wrong because it's their race and they can do whatever you want or whatever they want, but it would not be detrimental to the race in any way to push the start back 30 minutes so there's sun. It was straight up dangerous.
Whenever I did it, it was back in the Colin Strickland era. It was a mass start.
Yeah, so everybody was there.
It was the scariest thing I've ever done. It actually was one of the reasons I quit doing these kind of races.
This start is the scariest start in gravel. Luckily, it's not like a dangerous course. There's not a ton of turns or anything. There's huge clouds of dust from all of us riding through the gravel. It's pitch black. It was humid, so everybody's glasses were fogging. If you weren't wearing glasses, your eyes were just getting filled with dust. Visibility was nothing. You couldn't see anything.
We need gravel goggles.
With like little fans to keep them from fogging up. Obviously, this race can do whatever it wants, but I would love if the race just got pushed back a little bit. The race started at 5:50 a.m. I think that's unnecessary. Unbound's 50 miles longer and starts later, and they're okay with that. I think this race should follow suit. The only reason being is safety. There is a lot of stop signs. Most of them were a two-way stop where we had to stop, and then the other gravel road isn't a stop. The farm trucks out there haul at like 80 miles an hour on those gravel roads. It's pretty sketchy rolling stop signs because you're in a race for a $100,000 prize purse, so people don't want to stop. They said they remade the course a little bit so we had less stop signs, so they didn't have to worry about that as much. In the future, if they can get the backing from police and volunteers, they'd like to close off more of the stop signs. First 15 miles started off in the dark. I stayed with the group until the first minimum maintenance road, which was right about 15 miles in. First muddy B road was mile 15. There was a crash there. I wasn't involved in the crash, I was behind the crash. So I had to unclip because it got so muddy so fast that my bike just instantly clogged up and I couldn't like even ride to the side of the road to continue riding. Kyle Kalish was right next to me, but he was far enough to the right of the road that he was able to easily just get to the grass as soon as the crash happened, and you just see him right away. And I was stuck for like 3 minutes probably, like getting my bike moving again and trying to clip in and get going because the mud section was only 10 feet long. I got stuck in it for way too long. I made it into a pretty good group of guys. Got lots of clips of Daxton Mock with his disc wheel. He was on the Checkmate. This is a good course for the Checkmate because you only need 45 mil tires.
Without the mud.
And it's a pretty, he didn't finish, so I'm guessing his bike clogged up.
That was the biggest problem with that bike.
Yeah.
That bike is incredible other than that it doesn't make sense for gravel racing.
No, it doesn't make sense. I was with him until the mile 30 MMR road that was even muddier than the first because it was like a half mile to a mile long of straight mud that you couldn't ride. I unfortunately went into it first in our group and the road looked completely dry and it was a left-hand turn into the muddy road and I just shot straight down the middle and just stopped. It was like I went 3 feet in and my bike just like locked up, and this was my first experience in the peanut butter mud that they call it.
Oh, you've never done?
I've never been.
Because Mid-South got canceled,
Yeah.
you didn't get to experience
I've
it.
never
It's
been
wild,
in
dude.
peanut butter mud before, and I've always seen it and heard people talk about it, and I'm like, you can just ride through it, just pedal harder. No, you can't ride through it. Your bike just stops working. So I had to pull my bike over to the side of the road. I had to like scoop all the mud off my wheels out from in, I don't know, those parts of the bike and get rolling again. And I was on this road I had a total of like, I think 6.5 minutes or 7 minutes of stop time.
For the whole race?
For the whole race.
Oh, that's not bad, dude.
So,
it could have been like an hour.
Yeah. I think I talked to some people and it sounds like Pete Stetno had the most stop time with 10 minutes. But yeah, so I went through the second minimum maintenance road, completely lost contact with like everybody. Then I'm sorry, just because we're talking about people No, you're good.
breaking their bikes. One of the third place female.
Yeah.
Well, Danny finished third,
Yeah.
but it was whoever was going to finish third. Shimano bricked because it was so muddy.
Yeah.
And she was just like off the side of the road for like 20 minutes. She finally gave up. Like,
this is another little side tangent. There was a lot of Shimano bikes there because there were so many Europeans at this race.
Yeah.
And all the Euros use Shimano. And I've never heard such terribly sounding drivetrains as I did in this race because I was with a bunch of Shimano people. After the 30-mile thing situation, I was solo for just not super long, caught up to one other guy. Me and him worked together, went past some people. Then Pete Stetton, after his 10-minute long getting his bike rolling situation, came by me at like so fast. He would definitely like wanted to make sure I didn't get on his wheel. I need to grab my computer and pull up the Training Peaks file for this.
Yo, this is is it working?
It's not working. It's not charging.
So we're trying to charge Trey's computer off of my computer.
My
and
computer is going to die. It doesn't say
dude.
it's charging. That's okay. I'm trying to get this pulled up. Wait.
No, my computer's charging.
Why is it doing that?
Okay, so the theory worked. It just
worked the wrong direction.
Because mine has less battery than yours, dude.
Dang it. Pete Stetna came around me full gas, and then he did like, there was one other guy with him, and they rotated like twice. And then after they did that, Pete waved me through after like definitely trying to drop me, like went so hard for just a minute or two so that way I wouldn't catch up, but I did. And then he waved me through, And I was just like, no, man, I can't. But I only stayed with them less than 15 minutes because they were going so hard. 339 watts. They were just straight up trying to drop me. And they ended up beating me by like not
that much. No.
Not a ton of time. So like after they dropped me, they definitely like slowed way down. Then from here, this little section where we went north all the way up to there, I got caught by a group of like 6 to 8 guys, and we kept like picking up people, so it eventually got to a group of 10. But from that whole section where we went north, roughly 32 miles, a group of 10 elite guys only averaged 17 miles an hour because the headwind was so terrible. That's like a full group of dudes going hard on relatively fast gravel, only averaging 17 miles an hour. So I thought this race would take about 7 hours, like under 7 hours, maybe 650 something. And it ended up taking me 750 something, so almost a full hour longer. One because of the mud, and 2 because of that 30-ish mile section where we were only going 17 miles an hour. Then the next section heading back to town, which was like, I don't know, 60 miles. It was like up and down. We kept like turning into the headwind, and everybody would just be like walking pace, and then we'd get a tailwind and we'd be hauling. But yeah, I stayed with that group of roughly 10 guys from mile 40 to mile 130, where we were going up a hill, and the dude in front of me just dropped the wheel of those guys up ahead, and I couldn't close the gap. And so it was just me and one other dude from mile 130 to mile 150, and I ended up finishing 34th place.
You almost caught Kyle. What happened there?
Dude, I wish I would have caught Kyle.
You were so close.
So that group of 6 guys in that group I was with got away because that one kid freaking dropped the wheel. They all ended up beating Kyle by like 4 minutes. And I was like, if I could have just closed that gap. I tried and I couldn't do it. I would have finally beat Kyle. Homeboy Kyle is still undefeated in the Trey v. Kyle.
Yeah.
It's not even a competition. He's just beating me, which is cool.
I was curious if he was just so dead that he was like doing nothing.
I think he blew up hard because I saw a lot of pictures of him with guys that finished like top 15.
During the race, he made the lead group. Like he was in the lead.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's just because of that first mud section. Whoever made it around that crash was able to just carry on with the lead group, and then everyone else in the back just got blown to pieces.
Chase was using his computer as an aero bar.
Yeah.
And they I don't know what they did, if they somebody on a bike must have told him to stop or something.
So first of all, I helped him set that up. The rule of this race is no aero bars allowed. Puppy paw is fully legal. So he zip tied arm cups to his bars right here, which would aid in puppy pawing.
Yeah.
And then I helped him super glue blips to under his Garmin. So that way when he's puppy pawing, he was holding onto his Garmin and could still shift. But during the race, the moto came up and was like, hey man, you can't be doing that. And he's like, why not? And they're like, you can't have aero bars. He's like, I don't have aero bars. I have arm cuffs in a Garmin that I'm holding on to, which is so silly. He's like bending the rules, but definitely not breaking them. But honestly, what he's doing is way safer than puppy pawing, because when you're just straight up puppy pawing, not holding on to anything, then you have no control.
I want to clarify.
Yeah, they made him stop doing that. And then he told me after Chase, Drew, and Nathan or Mark Spratt, I can't remember which one was up there with him, once they got dropped from the lead group and there wasn't a moto anymore, Chase asked Drew and Nathan if he could go back to doing puppy paws because they would just end up finishing faster, and they were like, yeah, please do, because you were hauling when you were on the front in your puppy paw position.
I want to clarify something from the Kate Courtney video. I 100% think puppy paws is fast.
Yeah.
And the reason I said it was stupid is because of safety. I think it's the one that gives you the least amount of control, and I didn't want to be the guy that was telling everybody to do that. You know what I mean?
To do puppy paws?
Yeah. I agree with the commenters that it's fast, though.
It was fast. And Chase is real aero and small, especially when he gets down in his little puppy paw position.
That's hilarious.
A couple people did get DQ'd from this race.
What happened there?
I don't know what happened, but in that pro meeting I was talking about, they said if you're crossing over the middle line, especially going up a hill where there could be a car coming, or if you're rolling stop signs without looking, they will DQ you. So I would assume that's what happened. But yeah, a couple people got disqualified. Not sure why. I don't personally know the people that did, so I didn't feel like comfortable asking them. Whole bunch of people didn't finish, like 20 or something people didn't finish.
More than that?
Yeah, maybe even more than that.
Dude, like only like 40 people finished.
Yeah, I think like 43, 45.
Yeah.
So that means 30 people didn't finish. Which, to be honest, after the very first mud section, and I was like, the whole group is gone. That's my race gone. I have 140 miles left. I'm like, I don't even want to keep going, but I did.
Joe Gettle has the best clip of this.
I had my GoPro running on the 5-minute timer, and you can see, I'm behind it, you can see Joe start to crash, and the timer runs out right there.
Oh, no.
Right before, but yeah, Joe went over the bars, did like a Superman faceplant, his bottles went everywhere. It was so funny. I felt bad for him. He was totally fine, got back up, put his bottles in, and then at the 30-mile section again, me and him were just trudging along next to each other, covered in mud.
Definitely give Joe a follow.
Yeah, go follow Joe. I think after a pretty like rough 2 months of training for me, after being sick and stuff, I was pretty proud of the performance I had. Definitely wish I could have made it through that first mud section a little faster so I could be with the lead group in the second mud section. I don't know. I'm sure that's what everybody's saying, but that's just racing. Sometimes you get stuck behind crashes.
My opinion is that you literally had never experienced that one time.
No,
like
if I knew better, I would have been like, mud, go straight towards the grass, right in the grass, which you can tell the leaders, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even have problems.
I think that if you knew how to do that, like you just didn't know at all.
I didn't know. And if from the clips I saw, especially the 30-mile section, all of those guys like avoided the mud immediately.
Yeah.
Like they just instinctually know, like Keegan's like, I see mud, I'm just gonna go straight to the grass and just ride it.
I love this race because like I love the amount of people, like there's just like a bike race happening off to the side of the road. Like the race was happening like
there's like people
on
just
people's
running
property. It's so funny.
And the mud, it's like hard to describe how bad it was, but like Drew Dillman had the Lauf, which has the biggest tire clearance out of any gravel bike out there. I think it can fit 2 5s, and he ran 40 mil tires and his wheels still clogged up. So like there was no way anybody was riding through it. Made the race extremely hard from the very beginning, and I'm just happy that I was able to finish like relatively well.
I think you did pretty good, man. If you just walked up to somebody and said, I got 34th at Gravel Worlds, like that's a pretty good
I really
result.
want to know how, if it was dry, where would I have gotten dropped?
Oh, like your actual power.
Because like I was rolling with everybody and doing well. At like Unbound, I just straight up got dropped at some point. But would that have been at mile 30 of this race, or would it have been at mile 120? Like, I don't know. Would I have been able to hang with everybody for longer if there wasn't catastrophic mud? I don't know. We'll have to wait until the next race to find out.
Shout out to Gravel Worlds for letting Trey do the pro race because they almost didn't let you.
Yeah, I was sitting on the wait list of the pro race for like...
I think Drew helped you get in, but I think you've earned a spot. Like, I think now you can say, nope, I was in the race and I did a good job.
I did okay. I didn't get last place. I was legit worried I was going to get last place. I was kind of worried I was going to get dropped 1 mile in after the terrible training rides I've had the past month. But yeah, I survived. And yeah, the promoters of Gravel World, you guys are great. Keep doing your thing. I'm sure maybe you guys will see this.
Buy stuff.
If you guys want an NV Mog, I heard the current colorways are like starting to run out of stock.
They're running out. There's still availability, but they're starting to run out.
If you guys want a Mog, now might be the time. I don't know. I would assume they will restock them, but
I was told that like what's coming is what's coming, and that's gonna be it for these colors.
Yeah. So now is your time to get a Mog. And then if you guys are a faster gravel racer doing faster gravel races, the 4.5s are definitely the fastest wheel out there. But I can't say that for certain because we have not tested them yet. Gravel wheel test is coming.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Later, everybody.
Bye.